How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, second chapter. I've been having a blast. I've been having so much fun. I kind of apologize. I keep talking about how it feels like we're getting close to the end, and people have been saying and even repeating that, no, you got a ways to go. It's not that I was trying to say I think we're at the end anymore. I do genuinely think, I'm just saying it feels like it keeps building to these massive climaxes. I'm like, how can it be more insane than this, right? And now it feels like, oh, we found Ouroboros' secret base, and we're going to go attack it. So that feels like that's going to be the end of the game. But, like, apparently not. So yeah, I apologize for the repetitiveness. It just keeps ramping and ramping and ramping. And it's also like we visited every single area around the map again, and that was kind of the flag at the beginning of the finale in the first game. So I kind of was expecting that's the case, but whatever. Also, I realized at the end of the episode that we wrapped up the storyline with the mayor and Lilla, and I hadn't talked to them yet, so we're going to talk to them real quick, and you know, I think at that point, I'll probably double check that I have made sure I went through the tower. I'm 99% sure I did, so I'll just go double check to make sure, and then we'll head down to wait for Kurt and the rest of the team, and or whatever shenanigans is about to descend upon us, and you know, we'll get into that. But yeah, so it should be pretty good. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, and yeah, just keep talking to me about this stuff and let me know what you think. But all's well that ends well. Anyway, let's get going.
I
forgot to mention, I did a little research, and something I probably should have tried a long time ago, I finally made it work. So we got the voice patch in. So it's the Japanese one. There are rumbles of like a English fan-made voice patch, but it doesn't look like it's finished and questionable. I also have to be careful about this for two things. So first of all, thanks for putting up with my voice work up until this point. If you want to continue the voice work, let me know. I would be willing to do it. And here's the thing. I really think that the voices that are going to be part of this is part of the official game that came out with, I think, with the PSP version of this game. They just did the voiceover for major characters, and that's the same files we're working with here. I imagine that the deliveries would be really fun. I even did a test drive of this where I replayed the beginning and had the intro to this game and played it out a little bit with the voices, and it's powerful. So I'm thinking it'll be better. But I can understand that there might be a small contingency of people, or maybe more of you, who might have issue with it. For instance, when it's in Japanese, it's going to require you to read along. Up until now, you technically could probably listen to as I was going and kind of put it on the background and still follow along with exactly what was happening in most scenes, which is something I do with a lot of videos I watch. So I could understand if some of you might miss that. So I'd love to know if that's the case, but there's a good chance you'll be in the minority. So, you know, I just want that feedback. If you are really happy to hear the voices in, like, let's do it. Again, like I said, this is almost like a trial. I'm going to do it for this whole episode. We're going to see how it feels. It's going to be kind of sad, but also probably good, because their voice work is much better than mine. But I've always had fun doing the voices, so I really don't mind. It kind of comes down mostly to how you feel and how I feel. So this will be a good try just to see. So yeah, surprise. It was a bit of a challenge to get it working and kind of get it all set up and not breaking the game. And the only other concern I could have is apparently there's been some rumors that there might be like takedowns for the audio in the game, like DMCAs and all that. So we'll see. This upload has a lot of issues, you know. We'll see what we can do about it. But for today, kick back and relax. And I'll still have to voice some characters. A lot of the side characters don't get voice lines. But yeah. Anyway, I've rambled on enough about this. I'm just excited. I couldn't wait to drop that on you. So we're gonna continue this conversation. Hello, Mayor Maybell.
先ほどのリラの件ではありがとうございました。
It's weird. They do have this thing where they're like talking into like the microphone. They're very breathy.
さぞ驚かれたことでしょうね。さすがに驚いちゃったわ。
It's weird hearing Estelle talk. It's funny though because the few people I've heard talk so far, I feel like ironically, obviously I ended up exaggerating a lot, but I often gave different pitch levels to different characters. And it's funny because I always give Estelle a higher one. And it seems like she also has a higher voice actor, like a voice actor who's going for a higher pitch. So it's funny. It feels like I almost guesstimated some of the pitch ranges for some of these characters pretty well.
でも最後は丸く収まったし、お手伝いできてよかったかな。
Yeah, I'm glad we got to fix that all up.
本当に助かりましたわ。
Oh, Mayor Maybell.
今回も最後の最後までお使い立てしてしまいましたわね。
Oh, hang on. Okay, had to check. Apparently the audio is recording, even though it's not letting me know it's recording. That's always scary, but I'll trust the system.
バレリア湖畔に行かれたら、どうぞゆっくりお休みになって。そうさせてもらうわ。
See, they can do laughing. I can't do laughing very well.
そうだな。せいぜい体を休めることとするさ。
He just sounds cool.
楽しんでらしてね。それでは。良い休日を。
All right, let's go talk to Lila. How you doing?
おや、皆様。
Aw, I thought she would have a richer, more commanding voice. She has a very soft-spoken voice.
このリラのために、先ほどはとんだご迷惑を。迷惑だなんてとんでもない。お手伝いできて本当に良かったわ。だって血は繋がってなくても。やっぱり家族は家族なんだって。
Oh, yeah, I wonder why that resonated with you, Estelle.
それを確かめられただけで、私は励まされた気がしたもの。エステルさん。
Yeah, oh, there's Chloe. Oh, good voice for her.
そうですか。そう言っていただけると、この私も幾分か救われます。ところで、リラさんはいつ実家に行くつもり？日程は未定ですが。お嬢様のご予定次第ですね。
Fair.
何しろ、お嬢様とご一緒することになりましたので。
I mean, who would want it any other way?
いい考えじゃない。ですが、当分は無理だろうと思います。お嬢様は相変わらずご多忙。ご予定が空くとも思いません。確かに。まあ、すぐには無理でも、いつか必ず訪れるつもりです。
That's good.
それまでゆっくり機会を待つことといたします。
That's almost what I almost say. Like, this is the same problem I'm having in Rewrite too, because Rewrite had it's all all the characters have voices, but you know, for majority of the game, the main character Kotaru doesn't. So you voice, like I was voicing Kotaru, but then this final part of it, they actually have his voice lines being delivered by a voice actor. And so I've gone from being like an active participant in the entire conversation to a more passive observer. And that's what's happened again here, but I was really involved in the voice work. And so I almost feel like I shouldn't be here. Like I'm somehow interrupting you. All right. Let's continue on. It's actually a good time for me to be experimenting anyway, because I've got a bit of a cold, so that should be good. So we just need to head down. I'll go check on the tower, but I'm pretty sure I've already done that one. So then we'll go to the lakeshore, and we'll go and enjoy ourselves there, I suppose. Yeah, okay, I've definitely been in here. I'll get into a fight, see if we get any fun shiny palms to show up, or a couple fights just to see if shiny palms show up, and then I'll just get going. Oh, that's right. Okay, I will have to backtrack, but somebody mentioned this. I'm glad I remembered. Somebody mentioned that there is something going on at the Magla mine. So I think I'll run up that way and go and see if I can do that before we get caught up in whatever's happening next. So the mine up behind the village. No, not the Magla mine, the revenue mine. So I visited there like twice. I think once on camera and once like when I was just trying to check and make sure I'd gotten everything. And there was nothing there. So, you know, don't be so shocked to find out that I didn't immediately think to go back up there again. But apparently now there is stuff to do, so I'm gonna go check up there real quick and we'll go and clear that out before I go down to rest and relax, because I'm sure that's absolutely, totally gonna be happening. But yeah, we'll go and rest there in a bit. So, give me 1 sec.
少尉、我々だけでは対処不能です。
Okay.
至急、師団本部に増援の要請をすべきかと。
So yeah, there. Okay, like I said, Third time's a charm. Something spicy going on.
それほど手強いのか。
はい、何しろ見たこともない魔獣です。いや、果たしてあれが魔獣と呼べるのかどうか。
ねえ、どうかしたの？
君たちはいい加減見ただけで気づいてくれねえか。
That does happen a lot, yeah. Like, you think people would know.
俺たちは遊撃士だ。遊撃士だと？
見たところ何かトラブルのようだね。
Oliver, not sure that matches him as in my mind, but okay.
ああ、その通りだ。予想外の事態が発生してしまってね。
予想外の事態？
実は廃校の内部に魔獣が出現したのだよ。それが予想外の事態か？魔獣の出現なんぞよくある話じゃねえか。ああ、それはそうだが、その魔獣というのがただの魔獣ではないのだよ。
Okay.
どういうこと？
ええ、まるで金属でできた昆虫のようなやつなんです。
Oh, interesting.
そいつが廃校内のあちこちに突然湧くように現れて。
なるほど。確かに気になる話ですね。
Yeah, that sounds more like the automated defenses inside the Grand Tower underneath the Capitol. Like, I wonder if there are more of those old weird mechanisms waking up.
我々は警備のために派遣された部隊なのでね。残念ながら正体不明の魔獣を退治する余力はない。だがここはラベンヌ村のすぐ裏手にあたる場所だからな。正体不明の魔獣の発生を見過ごすわけにもいかない。
で、そこにタイミングよく私たちが現れたわけか。期待されてることがなんとなく分かっちゃったわ。
You should be happy, Estelle. This is what we live for.
おっと、読まれてしまったか。しかし最近は我々と教会との関係も改善されつつある。すまないが力を貸してもらえないか。
もちろんよ。こんな奇妙な事件見過ごすわけにいかないわ。
すまないな。恩に着るぞ。
非常時だし当然よ。
Her voice actor sounds familiar. I can swear I must have heard her in something else before.
それじゃあ改めて確認させてもらうけど、とにかく変な魔獣を退治してくればいいのよね。
あ、廃校に潜んでいるその魔獣を全て退治してもらいたい。特殊な姿をしているから他の魔獣がいても見分けがつくだろう。
Okay.
了解したわ。
その魔獣についてもっと情報はないのか？
Yeah.
そうですね、一匹一匹は大して強くもないんですが、たまにいる色の違うやつには注意した方がいいですよ。
Alright, so the one by ones aren't too bad, but the different colored ones are sort of scary.
色の違うやつ？
ええ、アーツらしきものを使ってくるんですけど、
Huh.
何しろそれが全く見たこともないアーツでして。
Interesting.
何よそいつ。
やばそうだな。気を引き締めて仕事にかかるとしようぜ。
Yeah.
もう説明は十分のようだな。ではゲートを開放しよう。
お願いするわ。
I like how we have a recharge station right here. Not that I need it. I don't think I did anything besides like get some free attacks
気を
in.
つけてな。休息が必要な場合には王国軍の設置した回復装置を使ってくれ。
ありがとう。助かるわ。問題の魔獣をすべて退治したらまたここまで報告に来るわね。
ああ、諸君らに。それじゃ行くとするか。
行きましょう。
Alright. Wow, interesting. Alright, gonna save. Because, you know, it'd be foolish not to. But that's fascinating. But hey, now I'm not sprinting through this mine like in a blind panic. I guess I can, like, properly loot it again. Whoa, look at that. Okay. So let's take a quick look at these things. Vogel 570, a mysterious mobile object with metal armor, fast and fires powerful arts. And the red ones are Vogel 235s, an unknown object armored with a metal plating. Well, let's take you out if we can. Okay. Oh, this one gets to attack. Dang. I mean, that's pretty decent, especially because this is probably the basic one. I think the blue one might have been pretty scary if we let it fire a spell. They give Sephiroth of other kind, though. That's pretty cool. Interesting. I wonder if the dragon, because remember the dragon was like probably sleeping around here. I wonder if the dragon was somehow keeping these things like down. Or are they waking up because we activated like the super tower? Phantom pain. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. That's crazy. Slew all monsters. Okay. I guess that's it. I thought we'd have a big boss to fight, but I guess that's all of them. And I've looted all the chests, so I think we're good. Amazingly, I thought there were chests I left behind. It looks like I blundered into all the chests last time, which is crazy. It didn't feel like I did. Oh no, or maybe there was like, I think maybe I went back. I don't remember. Oh, well, let me just eat my own words real quick. Where was this door? I don't know. Crimson Eye. I've been waiting for this day. Okay. Don't we already have a Crimson Eye? Yeah. Blood Red Gen focuses users' consciousness on their orbment, so it lowers movement and speed. Well, here we go.
Oh, 守備はどうだね?
It was perfect. Actually easier than I expected. I thought we were gonna fight something big and crazy. They were interesting though. That spell was terrifying.
問題の魔獣は全部倒してきたわよ。
とりあえずはこれで問題ないはずだ。あとの警備は。はあ、やってくれたか。やれやれ。これで一安心だ。
まあ、確かにこの場はこれで収まってくれたけど、でもあの魔獣、どう見ても機械だったわよね。
Yeah.
もしかして、これも結社の連中の仕業なの？
I think it's a side effect of what they're doing.
そう考えるのが妥当というものだろうね。
結社とは例の犯罪組織のことだな。なるほど。奴らの仕業である可能性もあるというわけか。
うん。何度かやり合ってるけど、常識の通用する相手じゃないわ。
They don't play by normal rules. That's an understatement.
兵士さんたちもくれぐれも気をつけてちょうだい。
連中のことは俺たち遊撃士も調査中だ。何か分かったら軍にも連絡させてもらうぜ。うん、そうしてくれ。今回の事件については師団本部から連絡を入れておこう。支給される報酬は君たちの支部で受け取ってくれ。
イエーイ。
ありがとう。助かるわ。
それでは諸君、帰り道もお互い警戒だけは怠らないようにしよう。目に見えぬ脅威と戦うにはそれしか手段がないわけだからな。
うん、了解よ。それじゃあ後のことはよろしくお願いするわね。
ああ、任せてもらおう。
Alright. Quest Mine Extermination completed. The quest I didn't know. Thank you for telling me about about going back there. Oh. Oh, interesting. We're getting an actual cutscene.
やれやれ、見事にやられたものだ。
Oh, so it is the Ouroboros people.
まさか遊撃士どもが乗り込んでくるとはな。前線はしたが結局撃破されてしまったぞ。
Interesting. So these are robots, but they're definitely a lot weaker than the ones we fought in the tower. I wonder if this is Ouroboros trying to replicate the technology that we've seen in the structures.
ああ、まったくあいつらはいつも僕の邪魔をする。
Also, it's interesting. So the Jaegers. I was thinking about that because Jaegers are like supposedly like a bracer equivalent force up in the Empire, but if they're actively working with Ouroboros, then are they? The Jaegers are mercenaries, so I'm not gonna say like they're equating to all the Empire's backing like these attacks by Ouroboros, but it's more of like if they've been like kind of corralled into working for Ouroboros, it's definitely really interesting to hear that. Though they did establish right at the beginning, like in our training, like the idea of the training's final test was a apparent attack on the facility by Jaegers. So interesting.
ほう、見知ったものか。
やめろ。そんな話はどうでもいい。さっさと残骸を回収するぞ。
そうだな。早いところ撤収するか。オーバーマペットのテストとしては十分の出来だ。
しかし、紹介型ごときに手こずるとはね。
I mean, it wasn't that hard.
あいつらの命も。
Interesting. All right, well, let's go report this quest, and then we'll head down to go and enjoy our relaxation time. Quickly, we got another thing to say. Mine extermination, 8,000 Mira, C+, Grail Locket. Ooh.
お疲れ様。無事に目的を達成できたみたいじゃな。
I need to stop being surprised that the people are speaking now. It keeps catching me off guard.
何か依頼を達成したらまた報告に来てくれ。
Alright, so what did we get? A Grail Locket? I'm guessing that's like going to be an equipment. So if I actually, I think I remember what it was. Grail Locket. Prevents all of normal statuses except KO. Yes. Okay. So who do I want this on? Honestly, I might want to put it on Chloe because she can heal, she can take confusion and other statuses off people. She can even like bring back people who have been knocked out. And so it feels like if there's anyone I need to try and protect from getting confused or losing control, it really should be the Chloe. So I'm gonna give her the Grail Locket. Here we are. Oh, hey!
ようやく来たみたいやね。
Hey, Father Kevin.
あれ
Yeah? He's here. I've been wondering when he was gonna catch up with us.
どうしてケビンさんがこんなところにいるわけ？
いやー、それには海よりも深い事情があってやね。
ここに来る途中、街道で出くわしたのよ。
Okay. She's got a good voice, too.
で、ついでに宿まで来てもらったわけ。
街道の途中ってどうしてそんなところで出会うの？
はっきり言うてしまうと、目的は琥珀の塔の調査でな。実は俺、ロレンとでエステルちゃんたちと別れてから、
Okay.
一通りシリンの塔を調べてたんや。
I think I've visited all of them, too, at this point.
シリンの塔？
ってことは、他の3つの塔も調べたのか。
ま、そういうことですわ。おかげでこっちの竜騒ぎが完全にノータッチになってしもて、ここらで情報交換をしようと、そう思って参上した次第なんや。
It's a little scary how much you happen to guess. He tends to be right where he needs to be, doesn't he?
それは構わないけど、それじゃあ早速、ここで情報交換をする？
ああ、できれば夕食の時がええかな。
Yeah.
その方がお互い落ち着いて話をできるんとちゃう？
Kevin, I'm sure you have best of intentions, but you've flirted with her before. I got my eye on you.
それもそうね。で、ケビンさんもここに泊まるつもりなわけ？
聞けばここって割と有名な宿やそうやんか。せっかくやから俺もエステルちゃんたちの休暇にご相伴させてもらおうと思ってな。
いきなりね。でもまあ、ケビンさんには何度もお世話になってるし、みんなどうかな？
ああ、いいんじゃねえのか？
うん。確かにこの辺りで借りを返しておきたいところね。
私も賛成です。
Oh, Tita, that's a great voice. I can't do Tita's voice as well. Like, that's great.
僕も依存はないよ。
これも何かの縁でしょうし。
I'm biased, but her voice is probably the best so far.
ま、せっかくだから楽しくやろうじゃないか。
Sid's is good too, though. Like, he sounds so much more jolly.
おおきに、お礼と言ってはなんやけど、まだ用があるなら付き合うで。思う存分こき使ってくれや。
Okay, word choice. It's all business.
それじゃあ遠慮なく手伝ってもらうわね。
Alright. So I want to take him out and get him all equipped, because some people mentioned that like you have an opportunity to like do that. So let's do that. By switching things up, I gave Chloe Eagle Eye, which gave her enough yellow and white to maintain her whole casting tree. So she's got all the big casters. She's got every spell on here. The Latera All and Cocutus are the two biggest ones. And she's got those. Latera All, Cocutus. She still has her clock up. So that's like the big, so she has all the blue spells. The black spells that I want on as many people as possible. And she's got, like, yeah, so she's doing good. I downgraded her a tiny bit, but it didn't affect her in any super incredible way. And in return, I got Kevin all the way up, so now he is actually getting all, like, he's got Abyss Fall and Death Scream, if I recall correctly. Abyss Fall, Death Scream. Yeah, he's got everything. Okay. Yeah, alright, I think we're good then. Sadly, he's got a fairly low, like, casting count, but other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're all set then. Nice. Good to have you on the team, Kevin. Alright, let's see if we can get some fishing done before we go and start a party. And also, we should just talk to some of the people around here. Ah, what a wonderful, invigorating weather. Today's the last day of the vacation for my husband and me. I've beaten him handily in fishing, so now I can go home feeling great. Yeah, I wonder how he feels. As long as he doesn't take it personally, it's probably great. Yeah, finally back. With all the danger clearing up, my time to relax and wet my line. Somehow I just can't stop fishing. I'd keep doing it even if I had to pawn off a wife. Ho ho ho. That's gonna have a happy ending, I'm sure. I get to do some voices for her. Can we have a conversation with him? Because like we had that internal thought. I forgot. Okay, nope. Sometimes you can do follow-ups, but apparently not this time. Anyway, I did see we got some pier fishing to do. I bet you could. Alright. So we have the Aqua Master, which can just use anything. So now it's a question of like using all kinds of bait. But it's like the penultimate fishing rod. Trout. Rainbow trout. Snakehead. Garvelez. Shine Sphere. That sounds cool. I'll have to check that out. Rock Eater. Alright, I think that's good for now. So what was that silver thingy-majigger we got? Shine Sphere. Strength plus 20. Prevents sleep, blind, and freeze. Accessory, rare gem. Grants rare power. Well then. Oh, that's tough. Because with the Tiger Heart, that's pretty darn good. God, it gets his strength up to 800. Oh, it's probably worth it. But I like having his quick CP recovery rate. But then again, he does charge it on his own, so. Yeah, I think we're good there. I guess we'll give you the Gladiator headband. Because that's, in general, better than even blocking conditions, unless we know we need to block certain conditions. Alright. Go talk to some people in here before we say we're done. Heya! Thank you for staying in our little corner of Liberl my sister and I run. There's still some time until dinner, so relax and enjoy yourselves. If you have nothing else to do, why not try fishing? The piers are renowned for their unparalleled catches. Let's see, what do you have? Probably just food. Yeah. I challenged my wife to a fishing competition, and I lost again. Total loss, fair and incontrovertible. How does she keep getting hit after hit on her line? I just don't understand. There really is a gap in talent between us. Thanks for choosing to stay at our inn today. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Fishing is such a serious... Oh, didn't mean to go outside. It's such a serious thing. I mean, there's the old man who's like destroying his own marriage with his fishing. And then there's that couple who are like newlyweds who are like constantly battling over fishing capability. Though the wife, I think she doesn't see it as a competition, more just fun. Well, no, she does actually. She talked about beating her husband. But I feel like she's like, maybe she's taking it too seriously and he's taking it too seriously, so it's gonna cause problems. Okay. Well, I feel like that's everything.
あら、エステル。もう用事は終わったの？
Let's relax.
そっか。それじゃあ早速、部屋に案内してもらいましょう。
Alright.
本日は当館をご利用いただき、誠にありがとうございました。
She has her own voice here too.
早速お部屋のご案内をさせていただきますね。お願いします。
Yay.
まずこちらが女性の方々のお部屋になります。
Alright. Ooh, look at this.
落ち着いた雰囲気の素敵なお部屋ですね。ここ、私たちが前に通された部屋だったわね。空賊アジトに潜入して、結局泊まれなかったけど。
That's right. Weren't we like sitting outside the whole evening?
そうでしたわね。
ちなみに僕はベッドで一休みしたけどね。
あれはシェラ姉に酔いつぶされただけでしょうが。
Yeah, that's definitely sounds for par for the course.
今回は思う存分堪能させてもらいましょうか。
Oh no. Hope they're ready for you.
こちらが男性の方々に使っていただくお部屋ですが、
There's more of us.
二人部屋ですので、隣の部屋と合わせてお使いください。
ああ、俺は飛び入りですから、皆さんの都合優先で結構ですわ。
どうする？
俺も別に。
ならば僕とアガット君を同室にしてもらおうかな。
This sounds very much like me and my friends, where it's like, all right, let's just divide up and choose, and then we're all like, I don't care. Yeah.
ちょっと待て。
He's like, wait a minute.
なんで脈絡もなく俺を指名しやがるんだ？
決まってるじゃないか。
Yeah, Oliver.
あの夜、村に残った君とティータ君の間にどんなことがあったのか。
Oliver. You know what he reminds me of? His speech pattern, like, I'm sure it's on purpose, but this game came out a while ago. He reminds me of the clown makeup guy in ReZero. The duke that's sponsoring Amelia to be the inheritor of the throne. Like, he has a super exaggerated, not bad, like kind of like drawn out like syllables and tries to have a lofty sound, but it's like super exaggerated. Oliver has like a toned down version of that speech pattern.
一部始終、今節丁寧に教えてもらおうと思ってね。
Uh-huh. Yeah.
なんて悪趣味なやつ。まあ、私も少し興味があったりするけどね。
Estelle.
でも、ただお話ししただけだよ。
Good. It better not have been anything else.
そのお話っていうのが大事だったりするのよね。
Oh my gosh, she's a child.
こちらも寝る前にじっくりと聞かせてもらっちゃおうかな。
もう二人とも。
Thank you, Chloe, for being a voice of reason.
あんまりからかったら、ティータちゃんがかわいそうですよ。
そういうわけで、ジンさんとケビン神父は隣の部屋に泊まってもらいたい。
ああ、俺は構わんぞ。
いやー、何やら楽しそうですから、全面的に賛成させてもらいますわ。
それでは隣の部屋にもご案内させていただきますね。
I was like, oh crap.
こら、妙なところで話を切んじゃねえ。
Well, you weren't saying anything before. What goobers. What a bunch of goobers. I love it. They're all so good.
Naるほど。ごっついことがあったもんや。
Yeah.
まさか伝説の古代竜がリベールに生息してたとはな。しかも輝く輪について警告してどこかに飛び去ったときたか。
Yeah. I want to know more about this Ariel. Like, what is it? What is it? If it's ancient technology that's like kind of sci-fi-ish, it could be anything. Like, it could just be like a super weapon. It could be like a database. And it can see stuff, so it's like, maybe it's like a spy network. Maybe it's plugged directly into the stuff that's like dragon veins running through the planet.
いろいろありすぎて頭が処理しきれない感じかも。どうして竜が 輝く輪について口を閉ざしたのかもわからないし。
That is interesting too. It was like it was bound. It could have just made a promise and it just keeps its word. But he also kind of implied that like he literally couldn't say anything. Like something bad could happen.
実は教会の聖典にこんな一節が存在してな。司法授けし女神、聖獣を使わして人の子らの行く末を見届けさせん。
Okay.
司法に聖獣、それぞれ輝く輪と竜に相当しそうですね。
しかも見届けさせるという文句がポイントかもしれないね。ただ見守るだけで手助けをしてくれるわけじゃないらしい。
Yeah, I guess that's true. And if they were commanded by a deity, I mean, I imagine they would listen.
ケチくせえ話だぜ。いずれにせよ、これで輝く輪が実在する可能性はかなり高くなった。俺が調べたことと合わせると、いろいろと推測できると思うんやけど。
That's good.
ケビンさんが調べたことって死輪の塔についてよね。何か分かったことでもあるの？
まあな、4つの塔の頂上にある用途不明の古代装置やけど。
I've been super curious about them, and it really looks like they're designed to have like something plugged into them. They're active now, and it looks like one of the black orbments would be a perfect fit for them. So I'm sure that that's kind of what they were ultimately designed for. But why? What would they do if you activated, gave them a catalyst?
あれが今、光が灯って動いとるんは知っとるか？
うん。私たちもこの目で確かめたけど、それが輝く輪とどういう関係があるわけ？
これはユリア大尉から教えてもらったんやけど、城の封印区画の採用で巨大な機械の化け物が現れる直前に、妙な出来事があったそうやな。
They plugged a black orbit into the Grand Tower and it shut something down. And then it said backup systems have been activated, which then the towers are glowing, like they're the second level of security.
うん。確かゴスペルが使われた直後、遺跡の照明が全部消えちゃって、その後警告の声が聞こえてから周りの柱が下に降りたのよね。
警告の内容は第一結界の消滅とデバイスタワーの起動だったわね。
Exactly.
そうそう、それです。で、目撃情報とかも合わせて4つの塔で装置が動き始めたのが、まさに封印区画でゴスペルが使われた時間っちゅうことですわ。
Then my guess is that there's going to be some kind of like coordinated like attack where there's going to be some kind of big thing going on. Like we even had the whole idea about like some type of keeping the airspaces clear for something. They're going to do some kind of grand attack, but at the same time, I'm guessing that the lieutenants of Ouroboros are each going to go to a tower and plug a black orbment into one all at the same time and try and take down those towers to remove the second layer of defense around whatever it is they're after. なんですって？
それじゃあ警告にあったデバイスタワーの起動って
死輪の塔の屋上にある装置の起動を意味していたわけだ。
ええ、それ以外には考えられへんと思います。
状況を整理すると、グランセル城の地下遺跡には第一結界なるものを作り出す機能が備わっていた。だが大佐にゴスペルが使われてしまったことによって第一結界は消滅してしまった。
Yeah, that's disturbing.
そしてその代わりにデバイスタワーが起動した。ひょっとしたら第二結界と呼ばれるようなものを発生させるためかもしれません。
What are they trying to do though? That's what's terrifying is we just don't know. We have no idea what's happening.
第二結界。
第一があれば第二があるのも道理だな。
Exactly.
問題はその結界ってのがどういう代物かってことだが。
それなんやけど、多分輝く輪のありかを隠しておくような代物やと思う。
Okay.
そっか、輝く輪は封印区画には存在しなかった。
So maybe it's some kind of cloaking device, maybe?
このリベールのどこかに隠されてるって話だったわね。
Okay, well, if you were gonna hide something in Liberl, there's a few ideas I'm immediately thinking of. Think about in the the plateaus where like there's the constant mist. We've seen that the orbs were able to create an artificial mist. What if that's also being created as one of the barriers to prevent things from being able to activate whatever it is? Or maybe even like it's a device that's so large you wouldn't recognize it as a device without being able to have an aerial view of it, but by creating mist you couldn't prevent that from happening. It would also explain why the dragon nested in that area. It's where it was, you know, overseeing everything, kind of keeping an eye out as almost like a pseudo third layer of defense. The other place I would hide something, if I could hide something, would be at the lake. Maybe something underneath the lake that could then emerge. And then we even have clues that have indicated that Ouroboros might have a base on the lake. Maybe their base is set up where they think this Ariel is, you know, resting, and they just need to activate it, and it would like rise up in the middle, making an island or something.
そういうこと。そして仮に結社の目的が輝く輪の入手なら、連中の実験とやらもその目的を遂行するための手段と考えた方がいいやろね。
Right.
輝く輪、ゴスペル、結社による実験。
So they're saying something different than the Ariel. So that must be a translation choice. I wonder, like, does anyone know what they're saying? Or if I just not hearing it right? It just doesn't sound like they're pronouncing it. Like, I heard him say gospel. Like he pronounced the word gospel. But the Ariel, like, is that, like, what is that in the Japanese version?
どうやら全てがつながってきたみたいだね。そしてその絵を描いているのが教授と呼ばれる人物なわけか。
I like the loom. That's a good analogy because he's weaving things together.
そうね。竜の額にゴスペルを埋め込んで、ボース各地を襲わせた張本人。そして、お姉ちゃん？
なんや？どうしたん？
その教授なんだけど、ヨシアがいなくなった原因を作った人物じゃないかと思うの。
Interesting.
それって5年前、あの子が先生に引き取られることになった原因を作った黒幕ね。
I mean, in a way, I do think Joshua's leaving was his own choice, but it was after he understood and kind of was partially reactivated. So maybe he was being manipulated since the like, you know, the professor is just, he's all about brain and just messing with it.
それから、リシャール大佐やクルツさんたちの記憶を操作した人物とも同じだと思う。
Yeah.
何？確かに記憶操作の一件は未だ解明されていないが、どうしてそう思ったんだ？
あのね。
Estelle explained that she can't remember the identity of one man she met the day Joshua disappeared.
そんなことが。
お前、今まで抱えてやがったのか。
Well, it's not like she had proof.
そういうわけじゃないけど、ごめん。話すのが遅れたかも。
でも、間違いなさそうですね。その人が様々な事件の元凶である可能性は高いと思います。
And man, is it convenient that he can literally just erase his existence from people's memories.
かなりえぐい性格をした人物のようだね。
And as someone pointed out before, it feels like every game, I really fall for a character who turns out to just be stabbing us in the back. And it's like, what is with me in picking out the traitors? I'd be so sad. I'd be like, kind of like Estelle, like, imagine me in this world and I'm enjoying the characters I do, and like twice in a short sequence I get like horrifically betrayed by the people whom I'm most like happy to see and most like engaged with, and then it's just like, ugh, my poor heart.
ああ、注意する必要がありそうだぜ。
ごめんティータ、せっかく遊びに来たのに嫌な話をしちゃったわね。
I love how she says Tita. Tita.
気にしないでお姉ちゃん。
God, she's so cute.
ただ、どうしてその人はそんなことができるのかなって。
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Ren though. Like, why was she behaving the way she was?
みんなに嫌な思いをさせて、ヨシアお兄ちゃんを苦しめて、私、わからなくって。もう、そんな歪んだやつのことなんか分かってあげる必要ないってば。ティータはティータらしくが一番。
Tita just needs to worry about being Tita.
ね、アガット。
だから
なんで俺に振りやがるんだ。
いいオチがついたわね。
どうしたのケビンさん。
Oh, this isn't the first time you've encountered this.
いや、なんでもないで。
Kevin.
とりあえず情報交換はこの辺りにしとこうか。せっかくの料理が冷めてしもたらもったいないし。
うん、それもそうね。
そういうことなら話は早い。思う存分七肉林を楽しむとしようじゃないか。
Navigate the forest of meat. That sounds awful.
あら、本当にいいの？
Ugh.
ごめんなさい。ブレイクをかけて許してください。
Please don't make me swim. Beautiful. I love it. These guys are so good. Alright. And so Estelle and her friends set about enjoying their holiday. Oh my gosh, is it actually gonna be like a beach episode? Stretch. Estelle just goes and wakes everyone up. Setting aside their cares for a while, they slumbered peacefully and awoke as they wished come to the dawn. That wasn't them waking up when they wished. Estelle went up and talked to them and they woke up. Oh, they're going on the boats. And Oliver's playing his lute or lyre, whatever you call it. That's so cool. Ah, I love boating. I grew up being able to go to a lake with at my grandfather's place, and I never knew how good I had it. But living next to a lake would be the best. In the morning, they borrowed a couple boats and enjoyed the excursion on the lake. Ooh. Oh, bud. Woo. Noon saw a pleasant lunch with no small bit of horseplay. I also like how it looks like they're drinking wine. Oliver and Cher are drinking wine, and Tita and Chloe are drinking juice. And the evening was perfect for setting a fishing line and letting the hours disappear. So Zin, Estelle, Agat, and Kevin like to fish. I'd probably be fishing with them too. Time passed quickly by the idyllic shores of the lake. Evening tea.
遊んだ。とっても楽しかった。
心身ともにリフレッシュできましたね。
いやー、お酒も飲まずに楽しめたのは久しぶりだわ。
Scheherazade, I feel like you might have a problem.
とか言っちゃって。
Minors, influences, etc.
私たちが釣りをしてる間、果実酒とか飲んでなかった？
あら、あんな軽いの酒のうちに入らないわよ。
Cher, no. No.
ねえ、姫様。
Princess Tita. Princess Tita.
コメントは控えておきますね。それにしても、エステルさんって釣りが本当にお上手なんですね。
Oh, why thank you. I wonder if this is a reflection of how much you fish through the game. Like, if you've been ignoring it, do you get, like, told it's like, you're pretty good at fishing? But she's like, you're really good.
そうかな。次々と釣っちゃうんだもん。
小さい頃からのこの子の趣味だからね。そういえば、ケビンさんも好調だったわね。
結構好きみたい。ロットさばきとかもなかなか胴に入ってたし。
Phrasing?
もう少し腕を磨けば、私のいいライバルになれるかもしれないわね。
Uh-huh.
まったくもう、すぐ調子に乗るんだから。
But that's how Estelle is.
それにしても、もうすっかり夕方ですね。
Oh, we got about the memories. Yeah, because last time we were here with Joshua. He was out there reading his book, and we were fishing. And I got the achievement for doing, like, fishing for the whole time.
お姉ちゃん、どうしたの？私、ちょっと外で散歩してくるね。
Okay.
夕食までには戻るから。
そっか。遅くなったら、 あんたの分は山分けにさせてもらうわよ。
分かってますって。それじゃあまた後でね。
Interesting. So is this gonna be like another like flight, like wandering?
シラさん、
大丈夫よティータちゃん。できれば今はそっとしておいてあげて。
もしかしてヨシアさんのことですか？
よくわかったわね。そういえばあの時もこんな風に夕日が綺麗だったわね。
Oh, right, too. Because actually, that reminds me, wasn't this the first time where she started to think about, like, her feelings for him? Where, like, the thought crossed her mind. She was like, she dismissed it, but she was like, wait, what did I just... I don't... She got scared. All right, so we are going to wander around a bit. Okay, I'm going to save real fast, and then I'm going to do some wandering. We're going to talk to some people.
私たちはもう少しここでお茶を飲んでるね。それじゃあ姉ちゃん、また晩ご飯の時に。
That's good.
夕映えのバレリア湖はさぞかし美しいでしょうね。私も後でテラスに出てみようかしら。夕映えのバレリ、私も。
Okay.
今日も見事な夕焼けね。夕食までは時間もあるし、ゆっくり散歩してらっしゃい。
All right, sounds good. You never know. You don't want to, like, miss something. No, I got our Oliver. No, Zin or Kevin. Out for a walk? We still have a little time before dinner. Please feel free to have a look around. We got lots of fresh fish today, too. I'm looking forward to dinner tonight. That'd be kind of cool to, like, let people, like, go out fishing and then offer to cook it for them.
いやー、ごきげんよう、エステル君。上質な酒に新鮮なつまみ。いやはや優雅な夕暮れのひとときさ。これで美人のお酌さえあれば言うことがないんだがね。ま、それは晩餐後の楽しみとさせてもらおうか。
I'm sure. It's not gonna be me, I'll tell
上質
you.
な酒に新鮮なつまみ。いやはや優雅な夕暮れのひとときさ。唯一、この世の花とも、ま、それは晩。
It's hard for me to know, like, if I should repeat or not.
よう、エステル。
Hey.
なんだよ。また散歩か？
そんなとこ。そういうアガットたちは？
ちびちびやりながら世間話なんぞしてるところさ。ま、のんびり過ごさせてもらってるぜ。一応はそのためにここに来たわけだからな。
そうそう。たまには心身を休めないと。
Yeah.
一日ぐらい仕事のことを忘れても
違いね。じゃ、また後でな。
あら、エステルちゃん、もうお茶の時間はおしまい？
シェラ姉たちはまだ部屋でくつろいでるけど、ちょっと湖でも見てこようかと思ってね。
そっか。暗くなる前に戻ってくるんやで。
また釣りにでも行くのか？熱中しすぎて晩飯の時間に遅れるなよ。
Oh, if we couldn't do that if we wanted to. I wonder if there's more fishing I can do now. It'll probably be the same fish. Oh, oops, I triggered it.
ほんと綺麗な夕焼けね。あの時と同じだわ。
Yep. Oh, that's right, that was here.
空も水も夕焼けもあの時と同じなのに。
Except for a certain someone.
みんなと一緒にいてすごく楽しいのに、やっぱり全然違うよね。はあ、ダメだな。自分のペースで追いかけるって。せっかく答えを出したのに。これじゃあ、ヨシアにもお母さんにも笑われちゃうよね。そうね、夢の中で一度だけ間違わずに吹けたし。
Interesting.
また練習してみようかな。
You should do it. Do it. Aww. Someone mentioned I should try and do this on the violin for you guys. It'd be pretty rough, but I think I could. I think I will, actually. Maybe I'll do that for the finale. It's a hauntingly beautiful song. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, hey, Kevin.
へへいいもん聞かせてもらったわ。
ケビンさん。
しかし、誰が吹いとるのかと思って来てみれば、まさかエステルちゃんだとは思えへんかったわ。釣りとスニーカー集め以外にも、意外な趣味を持ってるんやな。
Hey, wait, how do you know about our sneaker, I was gonna say fetish, but it's not a fetish, our sneaker, fascination.
私のキャラじゃないかな。
いや、そんなことないで。まあ、正直、釣りの方が得意そうみたいやけど。
Oh, gee, thanks.
正直に下手って言っちゃっていいわよ。
Yeah, I'm probably about as good as she is, which is good enough to have a recognizable tune.
自分でもあんまり向いてるとは思ってないし。
確かに拙いところもあったけど、音楽で大事なのはハートや。さっきの演奏、エステルちゃんの気持ちはバッチリ伝わってきたで。
そっか。
隣、行ってもええか？
あ、うん。どうぞ。
一つ、聞きたいんやけど。
Okay. Where are you going with this, Father Kevin?
エステルちゃん、彼氏に会ってどないするんや。
Oh, okay.
聞けば、それなりの事情で君らの前から姿を消したそうやな。
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need anything else, like just their whole, how they met and how she was acting at the time. Yeah, it's pretty clear how that kind of went down.
再会できても、そんな相手にどんな言葉がかけられるのか、考えたことあるかな。
ひっぱたいても連れ戻すって思い込んだこともあるけど、さすがにそんな無茶が本当にできるとも思えないし。
I don't know. I think you could. Maybe you shouldn't, but I think you could.
正直言うと、私の言葉はヨシアに届かないかもしれない。
それが分かっていても、彼氏を追い続けるんやね。
うん。ヨシアの背負った事情とか、私自身の至らなさとか、結局、いくら考えても、ヨシアになんて言ったらいいか思いつかなかったの。だから、その言葉は会ってから見つけることにする。
That's very Estelle of you, Estelle.
だって、私の思いは私だけのものじゃないから。ヨシュアと一緒にいる間に自然と育ってきたものだから。だから、ヨシュアに会えたら、初めてそれは浮かんでくると思う。
And those words are probably going to be, Joshua, you idiot!
私だけが伝えられる。ヨシュアへの言葉を。
That's pretty optimistic of you. But I respect it. You're kind of amazing, Estelle.
だから、会えないうちからうじうじ悩むのはやめにしたの。さっきみたいに感傷に浸ることはあるけど、それは乙女の特権ということで。
参ったな。こっちの考えてた段取りがめちゃくちゃやんか。
Oh yeah? What steps are you talking about?
1、感傷に浸るエステルちゃん。2、俺の鋭いツッコミに戸惑い悩むエステルちゃん。3、俺からのナイスフォロー。4、エステルちゃん立ち直る。俺の株赤丸急上昇。
Alright, get out of here, punk.
ってな、必勝の段取りを用意して挑んだんやけど、2、3をいきなりすっ飛ばされてしもたわ。
ごめんごめん。
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, I respect it. I totally think in your shoes, I would also, I mean, I'd be interested. Chloe's still better, but I'd still be very interested, but I'm pretty sure that she has to get this situation resolved before she's going to be ready to move forward with anything with anybody else.
でも、ケビンさんって結構立派な神父さんよね。
I don't know, we were calling him a corrupt priest before, weren't we?
私みたいに悩んだり困ったりしている人をいつも気にかけてくれるし。
ガク。まあ確かにそれも神父のお仕事なんやけど、エステルちゃんには半分以上プライベートな理由で気にかけてるんやけどな。
At least he's straightforward with it. I want you to I almost want to put $10 down. That I was gonna be like, what do you mean? Yeah, there we go.
それって。
Oh my gosh, I called it. She's so dumb, but I love it. She's got main character syndrome.
ちょっと待った。
Oh. Before he could clarify.
どうしたのいきなり。
いや、向こうの方からボートが来とるんやけど、なんかその上で人がぶっ倒れてるみたいや。
Is this going to be a bracer telling us that the operation to go, or is this going to be an Ouroboros member taunting us about how they captured all our bracer friends? Oh, fetch me! It's all like that. It's like halfway. It's a bracer who's been clearly captured. Oh my gosh! How did I nail it with both guesses?
応急治療はしたけど、かなりの怪我を負っとるな。
He was sent as a message.
しばらく動かさん方がええやろ。
そっか。
まさかクルツのやつがここまでやられるとはな。
Oh my gosh, we are in trouble.
一体何があったんだ。
確かクルツさんのチームはもう少しで結社の拠点を突き止められるって話だったよね。ということはハネラスさんやカルナさんも一緒だったはず。
Oh, that's really bad.
まずいな。
一応宿の通信機でルグランジーさんに連絡したわ。すぐに各地のギルドと王国軍にも連絡が行くはずよ。
でも下手をしたらアネラスさんたちが。
ええ、分かってる。
俺たちもできる限りのことをやっといた方がいいだろう。問題はクルツを乗せたボートがどこから流れてきたかだが。
If we have a really solid understanding of the currents of the lake, we might be able to guess, but unless you really know the waters here... Well, hang on, we are at a fishing pier. Guessing one of the fishermen around here might actually be able to give us an idea.
確かバレリア湖には島や岩場はなかったはずだね。
はい、水深が深いので。
ならば湖岸のどこかから流れてきたのは間違いない。その場所を特定するのはなかなか厄介そうだが。
かなり大きな湖だもんね。軍の警備艇にも捜索を頼めるといいんだけど。
Oh, fetch me.
クルツさん。
Oh, that'll help.
ここはエステル君、それにアガットたちも。
Okay, Kurt, I know you're hurt, but please, we need to know what's going on.
ここはボース地方南部湖畔の川瀬みてえだ。あんたボートに乗ってここまで流れてきたんだぜ。
そうか。確か他のメンバーたちと結社の拠点に乗り込んで。
You started the infiltration without telling us?
それで。
Oh no. They got caught.
クルツさん?
But if they got caught and had his memory modified, that means the professor found them, right? But then they let him go. This is so clearly screaming, trap! Trap!
まさか。
なんてことだ。一度ならず二度までも記憶を奪われてしまうとは。
やっぱり。
どうやら教授とやらに記憶を封じられたみたいだね。
頼む。以前やってもらったように気を自分に当ててくれ。このままではグラッツたちが。
あれはあくまで対処療法に過ぎんからな。暗示によって封印された肝心の記憶は蘇らないはずだ。それに今の傷ついたあんたには負担が重すぎる。
だが
それやったら俺が何とかしてみますわ。
Oh. Ooh.
君は
七葉教会の聖杯騎士ケビン・グラハム言いますわ。アネラスちゃんから話は聞いてへんですかね。
おお、君が。
でもケビンさん、暗示の解除なんてできるの?
Maybe. It almost feels like the church is the natural, like, reflection. So if the Bracer's reflection and kind of like natural enemy opponent are the Jaegerists, then it feels like the church and Ouroboros would be butting heads in the same way. Because like Ouroboros wants to exploit ancient technology, the church wants to protect and lock away. Oh, hang on a second. The church is about gathering artifacts and locking them away and making sure they can't be abused. So the goddess or whatever instituted the church, because I'm not convinced it's a goddess. I think it might be a goddess might be a misunderstanding of what it was before. maybe like a grand dragon or some other like super powerful entity that was like concerned that humanity needed to not go down the same path again. And so they charged like believers and said like, hey, you need to rebuild, but you have to understand these tents. And one of the tents is like, hide away the artifacts. They're too powerful to be left in the hands of common people. And so they go around trying to find artifacts and taking security of them and making it a holy order type of issue. So that's the thing. Ouroboros tries to exploit and regain the power of the ancients. And the church wants to protect us from going down that path again. But it's like they operate off the same stuff, the same material, the same... They even have the church probably has a really solid understanding of these things. Heck, they pass down through the priests like medicine, like understanding how to create powerful medicines and cures, probably from the ancient empire. It's interesting to have a selective, like, essentially humanity went through a dark age, but something chose what information should be like preserved and kind of used the church to preserve it, and what information needed to be guarded against and kept secret, which again, they used the church for.
まあ、深層心理にまで食い込んだえぐいのになると無理やけど、一時的に封じられた記憶ならなんとかなると思うで。
Okay.
まだかけられてから時間も経ってへんみたいやし。
Oh, so he's saying because it was recent enough, he might be able to kind of reset his mind and might be able to... It's almost like doing a restoration point on your computer, where you set a restoration point, and then if you were to get infected with a virus, you can initiate a restoration to that point, and it will just delete everything that happened up until then, including when you got infected. So it can actually fix it. So it's like the computer.
そうなんだ。
教会に伝えられるという門外不出の法術ということかな。
Thaumaturgy, huh?
ま、そんなところですわ。多少精神的なダメージを食らうかもしれへんですけど。
Oh, that sounds fun.
それでも構わへんですか？
問題ない。ぜひともお願いする。
承知。
Alright.
空の女神の名において、性別されし七王、ここにあり。
She who dwells above. Okay, so that's got to be the goddess. It's got to be the power. So if there's an entity like a dragon or something, she who dwells above. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, wait a minute. I have an idea. So, what if... So, technological advancements. They clearly had some pretty powerful stuff, right? And there's something that can see everything. I hadn't thought about this, but a good idea would be a satellite. Not like we know it, but like something made of symptom magic, right? And then what if something lives up there, and that's where the Ariel, maybe the Ariel is the satellite, and there's something up there, and that thing, whatever it is, creature, person, like I doubt it's a person, but like something that's essentially eternal, or something that can live a really long time. And that's the goddess, essentially. Because she who dwells above, imagine something living in orbit around the planet. You'd never see it, but it could see everything. And if she who dwells above, if it's an entity dwelling above, like what if you had a dragon living in a satellite in space or protecting the planet? Like think about that. Like maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It seems a little odd, but at the same time, we're seeing mechs, and we're seeing like the fact that Ren had the mech thing, like it kind of destroyed my preconceived notions. Like the technological capability of this stuff is crazy.
四季の銀曜、時の黒曜。
Time's flow. Yeah, time.
その総国をもって、かの者に打ち込まれしくさび、ここに抜き取らん。
大丈夫？クルツさん。
ああ、大丈夫だ。
Good. Good.
霧が晴れたように、いろいろと思い出してきた。
Interesting. If you had an orbital platform, even just a satellite that could provide perfect information from orbit, that's really intriguing of an idea. And it would explain how it could see all. That's what the dragon said. It's so, it's like something that sees everything.
霧が晴れるのに任せて、ゆっくり心を落ち着けてください。
Could you imagine the edge you could have if you had satellites and no one else did?
その向こうにある暗闇は覗き込んだりせえへんように。
ああ、わかった。精神的なダメージというのがどういうものかわかったよ。
Pretty sure it probably just assaulted your brain.
あれは私のエゴというわけか。
あら、わかります？
これでも瞑想などをたしなむ方なのでね。もう大丈夫。必要な情報は思い出せた。
見事な術だ。
ただの不良神父じゃなかったみてえだな。
よくやってくれたわね。
ねえ、どういたしまして。それでクルツさん、必要な情報っちゅうのは。
Alright, yeah, Kevin. I'm impressed with you, Kevin. I'm liking you a lot more than I used to.
ああ。結社の拠点はバレリア湖北西の湖岸。
Northwestern. So that's not too far from here.
そこに彼らの研究施設が秘密裏に建造されていた。
研究施設？
そんなものをいつの間に？
バレリア湖北西といえば人里離れた場所ですけど、それでも警備艇による捜索が行われているはずですが。
奴らは特殊な方法で施設を隠しているようでした。上空にダミー映像を展開して空からの捜索を防ぐような。
They have a obscuring like projector.
なんですって？
そりゃまたとんでもない技術のようだね。
原理的には可能だけど。
そして地上に関しては接近すると周囲に濃霧が発生するようにしているらしい。
Yeah, the mist again.
霧？
ローレントの事件を思い出すな。
我々のチームは霧を抜けて研究施設に潜入したんだが。
It also could be mist like visions and illusions.
執行者と名乗る手だれたちの待ち伏せにあった。完全に隙を突かれて我々は総崩れとなってしまい、ボートにたどり着いたところで私は気を失ってしまった。
So he might have actually got away by accident, but I mean they're Ouroboros. I thought it was an accident.
仲間を残して自分だけ逃げ延びることになるとは。
No, I think you knew in the moment that getting message out was far better for them than trying to remain and just falling with them.
クルツさん、安心して。アネラスさんたちは絶対に助け出してみせるから。
エステル君。
そこまで分かってるならいくらでもやりようはあるだろう。
Interesting.
そうね。軍の支援も期待できそうだし。
あとは俺たちに任せておきな。
ありがたい。すまない。よろしく頼む。
Yeah, you did your job, Kurt.
大丈夫。気を失っただけや。
He just went through a lot of physical and now mental trauma.
しかし、一刻の猶予もないみたいやね。
王国軍が動く前に私たちも動かなくちゃ。
エステル、言わなくても分かってると思うけど。
分かってる。今までの任務とは桁違いに危険ってことよね。
Yeah.
でもいずれこういう形で結社とは対決することは覚悟していたし、それが早まっただけだと思う。
エステル短い休暇だったわね。
Hey, one day is pretty good.
十分だろう。せいぜい腹をくくるとしようぜ。
だが全員で乗り込んだらかえって目立ってしまうだけだ。ここは数を絞るべきだろう。
そうね。ねえみんな、あの時みたいに私が選んでもいいかな。
Interesting.
あの時というと封印区画の探索のことね。
ああ、それで構わんだろう。
まあ俺を選ばなくても恨みっこなしにしてやるぜ。
僕は選んでくれると確信しているけどね。
回復薬が必要ならぜひ連れて行ってください。
Oh, I want all of you.
私も機械のこととかきっとお役に立てると思う。みんな。
水差して悪いんやけど、まずは俺をメンバーに選んで。どうやらアネラスちゃんたちは結社の手に落ちたみたいや。
That's true.
助けた時 さっきみたいな術をかけられていたらどないする？
なるほど、道理だな。
仕方ねえ。お前はメンバー確定だ。
おおきに。
もうお礼を言うのはこっちの方だってば。
Yeah, we need you.
それじゃあ残りのメンバーを選ぶわね。
I already know what my team is, but it looks like I can take orbs off other people too, because it says I can change teams. I want all of you, dang it! I have to have Chloe. I have to have you. I need you so badly. And then, like, thematically, I'd love to have Tita, because if we run into Ren, I want Tita there. But Tita isn't nearly as helpful in combat as Agat. Agat is so useful to have in a team, especially with some healers. I want all of you. You're all so great. We have 2 missing slots here, by the way. Who are they supposed to be? Okay, but I feel like this is gonna be our team. This is what I'm happy with, even if it's scary. Let's check equipment to make absolutely sure we're 100%. Guide headband, metal. I can always change this stuff out, but it's good to know. Earth, fire, water, wind. I don't have a whole lot of coverage with the different elements, so I think we'll be okay. Wind, fire, water, earth. I guess we got it all, technically. I mean, the most important thing is we got all this. This is just fantastic stuff. Clock up, clock down. And clock up EX, right? Do we have that one? Yes. Good, good. Okay. I wish he had more EP. I tried giving him as much as I could, but it's about all I can manage to give him. And I've upgraded as many of his slots as I could too. It'll have to do. Alright, for better or worse, this is our team for this escapade. And I don't think we're gonna get too far into it because I think we need to end it, but I can't save yet. So I'm gonna get to the point where I can save. So, hopefully, hope you like my teams, because I'm guessing we're stuck with them for a while. Move out. Are you... Oh, I'm scared, but I've already kind of did the prep. Like, I unequipped all the orbs from everybody else. Everyone's... I can change out gear if I need to, if I switch anyone out, but as it stands, I think I've got everyone I need right where I need them, and even Kevin's like right up on par, so I think we're ready. Ooh, look at that. Twinkles in the water. Is that Sephiroth maybe? What a team though, look at our team.
静かね。
Yeah, sure. Except for that motor.
そろそろ向こう岸が見えてもおかしくないけど。
方向は合ってるはずだ。焦らないでこのまま進むぞ。
はあ、それにしてもお月様が綺麗やね。こういう夜は本当なら彼女を連れてデートでもしたいところや。
Kevin down.
またのんきなことを。でもケビンさんってちゃんと彼女いるんだ。
Estelle, come on.
これでも大陸各地の町に
Oh
一
my
人ずつ恋
gosh.
人候補がおってな。
候補ってことは要するにフリーなわけね。
Not with that attitude, no.
ガク、もう少し引っ張らせてや。
でもケビンさんってどうして一人で行動してるの？聖杯騎士団ってそんなに人手不足なんだ。
ま、今回の件についてはいろいろと事情があってな。
Oh, I wonder if Ouroboros is doing this in other places too.
結果的に俺一人が派遣されたんやけど。 状況次第では他の連中もこっちに来るかもしれん。
If stuff really hits the rotating thingamajigger, a fan?
そうなんだ。
Oh, that's kind of scary though. Like, with how crazy things got in the first part, the church thought it was good enough just to send Kevin. How terrifying must his higher ups be? Because he says he's one of the younger like people in the organization. So how scary must the high ups be?
聖杯騎士団ってアーティファクトの回収がお仕事だとか言ってたよね。
正確には調査管理回収やね。そのうち回収に関しては主に個人所有の物に関してや。
Preventing someone from misusing it. Oh, I just had nothing too. You know another reason why they might want to make a religion be the source of inspiration and like communication about like trying to regulate like the use of technology with people? Because if it is like a space station or a satellite that's in orbit, and there's something up there that is kind of trying to pull the strings, wouldn't it make sense that the very choice communications are likely through artifacts that they want to hide, but it would allow the higher-ups in the church to literally receive revelation or communications with something that's really old, really smart, and lives up in space. That's pretty cool, actually. What a cool way to talk about like a post-technological like society and how it could interact with the remnants of that society. If I'm right, but I feel like I like the more I think about it, the more sense it's making. I think I might have got it, at least partially.
稼働するアーティファクトを個人が勝手に所有することは教会によって禁じられてるからな。
でもどうして取り締まる必要があるわけ？
アーティファクトの種類はいろいろなものがあるんやけど、それがどのような原理で作動するのか、そのくせ使い方次第ではとてつもない力を発揮してしまう。
Yeah, they're like each one is like it might have seemed like a novelty back in the day, but for modern standards, like they could each be considered like partial super weapons. I mean, look at all the crazy stuff Ouroboros has done. All they've done, I think, is figured out how to like they get like the Black Orbs are catalysts. They're essentially like batteries to take like these artifacts and the technology and supercharge it.
そんな代物を個人が持ったとき、どういうことが起こりがちやと思う？
どうなっちゃうのかしら。
大抵の場合、見入られてしまう。
Actually, I don't know if this has been happening over time, but I just noticed that Kevin and Estelle are literally floating away from the seats.
力の誘惑に逆らえずに、ろくでもないことに使うんや。
Right.
それって本当？
I'm guessing it's like, well, not always, but enough. Because the decent people turn it over to the church. Those who don't probably want to use it.
残念ながら歴史的にも証明されとる事実でな。エステルちゃんたちもダルモア市長は知っとるやろ？
Exactly.
確かにあの時の市長はとても残忍だった気がします。操られているというよりも歯止めをなくしているような。
絶対的な力を所有することは人に歪んだ自信を与え、自制心をなくさせてしまう。それを未然に防ぐというのも聖杯騎士団の使命でな。
You know what? Normally I'm kind of like, not sure about being part of the church. I thought these Graalsritters are really interesting. Graalsritters? It's how do you say that without making it sound weird? But the more I'm learning about it, maybe they'd be an organization I would definitely be interested in like helping. Because it seems like in a lot of ways they're doing the right thing.
ま、綺麗事ばかりやないけど。
そうなの？
ま、遊撃士協会にだって公にできないことはあるやろ？
Right.
それと同じようなもんや。
確かに否定はしないけど。
どうやら敵の拠点に近づいてきたみてえだな。
Oh boy.
ならこのまままっすぐ進んでいくしかなさそうや。
I'd almost say like we should cut the engine and row.
待ち伏せの可能性もあるから気を引き締めていきましょう。
The music. Oh, look at this. Yep, we've seen this before. Lakeshore Laboratory.
抜けたみたいやね。
There's gotta be lookouts looking for a boat.
よし、到着ね。
Oh, it's recharge
とり
station.
あえずこの辺りには人の気配はなさそうだけど。
油断は禁物や。とにかく上の建物を慎重に調べるしかないやろ。
それに相手が相手だ。危ねえと思ったら迷わずここまで撤退するぞ。
Leave us behind if you have to.
そうね。
Oh my gosh, here we are. Okay, so next time we will absolutely have a lot to do. But yeah. So, what'd you think? First episode with voices. First episode where we finally get some truth behind the Ouroboros, and I think this theory might be the one that it makes a lot of sense with the clues we've had so far. I think a space station or at least a satellite makes a lot of sense. Something's living up there. She, like, it has personification, so I don't think it's just an automated, like, computer system. So I'm guessing it's a creature. And the dragons are seriously considered so old, and working with it, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a dragon. Which sounds weird, but a space dragon, I mean, if you really think about it, like, how cool would that be? And it would make a lot of sense, especially because they seem capable of, like, resting for long periods of time, being able to be alive, and as long as it had a means of, like, you know, sustaining itself, it sounds like it'd be perfect. So I don't know, we'll figure it all out, but there's lots of time for that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly did. I think it's one of the longer ones considering how much just goofing around we did, but I had a blast. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to reading your comments on this one. Tell you what though, I will say this, if I did guess right, don't tell me, let it be revealed to me what the whole, like, Ariel thing is. I feel like I'm at least on the right track now, because it just, like, a lot of pieces clicked together when I started thinking of it like that. Maybe I'm getting too locked into something, but compared to everything else, it would explain a lot of what the capabilities of this thing is supposed to be. So, if I am right, don't tell me. If you can help yourself, but I still think it's pretty cool. Because it's either a satellite or a death laser, you know, one of the two, something. Could be both, actually, now that I think about it. But, oh well. Thank you so much for being here. I really am still having so much fun with this series. And I really look forward to being able to tackle the rest of it from here on out. It's really fun. And a lot of you even said, when I've heard rumors about, like, some of the recent titles being, like, not as well received, a lot of you said, like, oh no, like, when it comes to the writing and stories, like, it's fantastic. Some people just don't like, maybe, like, the way they run the game. Like, they changed up the way the game, like, the combat feels and flows. I can see people being frustrated by that, but I don't know. I'm not gonna be judging or thinking too hardly about it, so yeah, I'm just excited. This should be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we're in for some really fun fights in the near future, because if we had to fight one or two members of Ouroboros, oh gosh, I can't imagine trying to think fighting one of them, like a pair of them. Like, imagine trying to fight two of those bosses at the same time. Just, oh no. But I think we're gonna get some good insights in the next few parts, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you especially to the patrons and members for all your wonderful support. You help make it possible for me to dive into these series like 110%, and I'm really grateful for that. So I look forward to being able to continue to make it, and all the other fun stuff we do. I had the Baldur's Gate 3 randomized decisions had an episode come out this week. Those take forever to make now, so I'm always very excited to push those when they pop out. So if you haven't seen that series, I highly recommend it. It's really fun. You probably don't need to worry too much about spoilers, because I haven't gotten to the end by far. But if you've ever played the game, it's a really unique way to play it, and some pretty interesting stuff happened when you're not able to be super consistent with your decision making. The way the story kind of twists and bends in very odd ways is really fascinating to watch, and it's just a testament to how well that game was put together. So I'd love it if you watched it and let me know what you thought of it. But other than that, just happy to have you here. So thank you so much. And until next video, watch me. I'll see me in next. I'll see you there.